Picture this. It's a quiet Tuesday evening in Phoenix, Arizona. The kind of evening where families are sitting down to dinner. Kids are finishing homework, and the news feels predictable. Barack Obama is sitting under those harsh studio lights that make everything look more dramatic than it should. His jacket is unbuttoned, tie loosened just enough to signal ease without losing that presidential authority we all remember. The audience of about 200 people is settled in, expecting the usual thoughtful responses about policy and progress. Obama is in his element, talking about the strength of democracy, choosing his words with that careful precision that made him famous. His hands move slightly as he speaks, painting pictures in the air. The moderator nods along, probably thinking this is going exactly as planned. Just another smooth political event for the history books. Then it happens. The moderator's earpiece crackles with that sharp, urgent static that makes everyone's stomach drop. You know that sound. It's the sound of plans falling apart in real time. The air in the room shifts. It's like when a storm is coming, and you can feel the electricity building. Everyone can sense it, but nobody knows what's about to hit them. Mr. President, the moderator stammers, looking directly into the camera with wide eyes. We've just been informed that President Trump is calling in. Can you imagine that moment? Gasps ripple through the audience. This wasn't planned. Nobody expected a sitting president to crash his predecessor's live town hall. The control room erupts into chaos. Producers are waving their hands frantically behind the glass. The moderator looks like someone just told him the building was on fire. The man doesn't even blink. Seriously, while everyone else in that room is losing their minds, Obama just leans back in his chair like he's settling in to watch his favorite movie. One hand rests casually on the armrest, the other lightly pressing his chin in that thoughtful pose we've seen 1,000 times in photos. His expression isn't panicked or annoyed. It's calm, almost amused, like he's thinking, well, this should be interesting. You can practically see the wheels turning in his head. He's calculating, measuring, deciding how to handle a situation that no former president has ever faced. And then, in that slow, deliberate way that made half the country miss him desperately, and the other half roll their eyes, he delivers 5 words that silence the entire room and probably made every political strategist in America spit out their coffee. Put him through? Just like that. No hesitation. No consultation with his team. No, let me think about this. Just pure, ice-cold confidence wrapped in those trademark Obama cadences. The moderator looks like he might faint, but he nods to the technical crew. What happens next is going to absolutely blow your mind, because this is where a routine town hall becomes the most watched political moment in years. The massive screen above the stage suddenly lights up like a digital billboard in Times Square. Trump's face appears via phone feed, filling the screen with that familiar expression of absolute certainty. His hair is perfectly styled despite it being an impromptu call, because of course it is. The audio crackles for a second as the connection stabilizes, and then his voice booms through the speakers like he owns not just a room, but the entire building. Barack! He starts, and you can hear the satisfaction in his voice at having successfully crashed this party. I had to call in. I'm watching this whole thing, and it's a disgrace. Total disgrace. The audience is completely frozen now. Some people are leaning forward in their seats like they're watching a car accident in slow motion. Others are sitting back with their arms crossed, already knowing this is about to get messy. Trump doesn't pause for breath. He's in full attack mode now. You're sitting here talking about democracy when under your administration, jobs were being lost left and right. Manufacturing was dying. People were hurting. Under me, we had the best economy the world has ever seen. People know it. Everyone knows it. Nobody's seen anything like it before. You can feel the tension in that room like a physical weight pressing down on everyone's shoulders. Some audience members are shifting uncomfortably in their seats. Others are murmuring to their neighbors, probably wondering if they're witnessing history or just really expensive reality TV. This isn't just unusual. This is a clash of eras happening live, unfiltered, with no script and no safety net. The cameras keep cutting between Obama, who's still sitting there like this is the most natural thing in the world, and a giant screen showing Trump's animated face. It's like watching a tennis match where the ball is made of pure political dynamite. Obama doesn't answer right away. Instead, he turns to the crowd, lets the silence hang in the air like smoke, and then speaks as if he's having a private conversation in someone's living room. Well, he says softly, with just a hint of a smile, "It looks like we got company tonight." Laughter erupts from the audience. The tension breaks, but only for a moment. Everyone can feel where this is heading. A showdown nobody rehearsed for, one that could go viral in seconds. Trump, sensing he has the upper hand by interrupting, doubles down hard. "People remember how bad it was before me. Terrible. Manufacturing was dying. China was eating us alive. I came in, I fixed it. And the numbers don't lie. If it wasn't for me, this country would be in ruins." His words aren't polished like a typical politician's. They're loud, forceful, designed to dominate. But here's the thing. They carry weight because he's still the president. His name is on every headline, his face on every network every single day. But the audience isn't looking at the big screen anymore. Their eyes are locked on Obama. Everyone wants to see what he'll do. Will he take the bait? Will he respond with anger? Will he let it slide? Instead, Obama does something that proves why he's considered one of the most skilled politicians of his generation. He leans forward slightly, just enough to show he's engaged but not aggressive. His hands are clasped now, fingers interlocked in that classic Obama pose, and he looks directly into the camera with those steady, unwavering eyes that have stared down world leaders and hostile reporters for decades. He doesn't match Trump's volume. He doesn't rush to defend himself. He doesn't raise his voice or gesture wildly. Instead, he speaks with the steadiness of a man who's been through political battles that would break most people, a man who understands that timing in politics is everything, and that sometimes the most powerful weapon you have is simply being calm when everyone else is losing their minds. "Mr. President," Obama says, and the way he emphasizes those two words, not harsh, not sarcastic, but with just enough weight to remind everyone exactly who he's talking to, creates this moment of suspended animation where the entire room holds its breath. The pause that follows is pure theater. 3 seconds. 4. 5. You can practically hear hearts beating in the silence. And then, in a voice that cuts through all the noise like a laser through fog, "I think the American people are less interested in who shouts the loudest and more interested in who actually tells them the truth." The crowd absolutely erupts in applause. The moderator shifts in his seat, partly relieved but partly nervous about where this might lead. The clash is no longer hypothetical. It's happening right now, live on national television. But wait, this is just the opening shot of something much bigger. Because while this unprecedented confrontation is unfolding on live TV for the whole world to see, something else is happening in the shadows, behind closed doors, in the private corridors of power. Something that's about to turn this political theater into a full-blown constitutional crisis that will test the very foundations of American democracy. Picture this scene. Inside the East Wing of the White House, those historic walls that have witnessed secrets and scandals for over 2 centuries seem to be holding their breath. The atmosphere is so tense you could cut it with a butter knife. Aides are moving to the hallways like they're walking through a minefield, carefully avoiding eye contact with each other, speaking in whispers, waiting for what they all know is coming, the inevitable storm. The sound of expensive heels clicking on marble floors echoes through the corridors like a countdown timer. Staff members peek out of doorways and then quickly duck back inside when they see who's approaching. Even the Secret Service agents, trained to remain stoic in any situation, can't help but exchange meaningful glances as they watch the drama unfold. When the door to First Lady's private office finally shuts, the sound is sharp and final, like a judge's gavel or a gunshot. It's the kind of sound that makes even the most experienced White House staffers, people who've seen everything from international crises to family scandals, stop what they're doing and look up nervously. Everyone in that building knows exactly what's about to happen, but no one, and I mean no one, dares to predict just how explosive it's going to get. Melania Trump is seated behind a polished mahogany desk that probably costs more than most people's cars. There's a crystal glass of water sitting at her side, completely untouched, like she's forgotten it exists. Her usually perfect posture is rigid with barely contained fury. In front of her, spread across the expensive leather desk pad, lies a leaked DNA report. The pages are slightly bent and creased from being gripped too tightly, handled too roughly, read and reread obsessively. Her hands are trembling, but not from weakness or fear. This is pure, undiluted rage. The kind of anger that makes your vision sharp and your hearing acute and your heart pound so hard you can feel it in your throat. She spent years, literally years, mastering the art of silence, of keeping her emotions tucked neatly away from the prying eyes of the public and the press. She smiled through scandals, stood stoically through storms, maintained that mysterious, untouchable composure that's become her trademark. But this is different. This isn't about politics or policy or public perception. This is about her son, Barron. This is about family. This is about blood. I will not allow them to destroy my son, she snaps, and her accent cuts through the tension in the room like a perfectly sharpened knife through silk. Each word is precise, controlled, but vibrating with barely contained violence. Do you understand me? I don't care what it takes. I don't care who gets hurt. I don't care what we have to do. The room falls dead silent. Even her most trusted advisors don't have an immediate answer. This isn't just about politics anymore. It's about bloodlines, about identity, about something too sensitive to be explained away with typical Washington spin. But here's where the story takes a turn nobody saw coming. Enter Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. She's not the type to tiptoe around a scandal. She's built her reputation on speaking boldly, cutting through the noise, saying what others are too afraid to say out loud. When word of the DNA leak reaches her desk, she doesn't just raise an eyebrow. She leans in a small conference room in Dallas. Her staffers are gathered around laptops and coffee cups, with a whiteboard filled with names, dates, and arrows that looks like the makings of a political thriller. Jasmine stands at the front, hands on her hips, her expression razor sharp. "Tell me what we know," she says. "Don't give me fluff. I want the real trail." What her team discovers is explosive. The document didn't just leak randomly. It spread fast through secure channels. At least 3 reporters have copies, but no one's going public. Why? They're scared. If they print it, the First Lady's legal team comes down hard. But Jasmine isn't backing down. Scared? That's not journalism. That's babysitting power. She picks up her phone and calls a journalist she trusts. "Tell me what you know off the record," she says, pacing as she speaks. The journalist's voice is cautious. The First Lady's people are already circling. They'll tear anyone apart who touches it. Jasmine's response? "Then let them come for me. I don't scare easy." What happens next changes everything. Instead of going after Barron directly, because that would be crossing a line she'll never cross, Jasmine does something brilliant. She reframes the entire story. It's not about a child anymore. It's about secrecy. It's about the cover-up. It's about the lengths powerful people will go to protect an image while demanding silence from everyone else. Standing outside her Dallas office the next morning, with microphones clustered around her, she delivers a statement with calm precision. Secrecy is the currency of the powerful. When documents leak, when people speak out, it's not chaos, it's democracy at work. And when those in the highest positions scramble to bury the truth, we should all be asking, what are they afraid of us knowing? The clip goes viral within hours. Hashtags about secrecy and transparency climb the charts. Cable news replays her words over and over, dissecting every syllable. But this is just the beginning of a battle that's about to consume Washington. Because Melania isn't going to take this lying down. Her team scrambles into damage control mode. They try discrediting the report, calling it fabricated, tying it to political enemies. They make calls to media outlets, pressure editors, lean on platforms to silence discussion. But here's the thing about trying to bury truth in the digital age. The harder you clamp down, the more people want to know what you're hiding. Jasmine sees what's happening and strikes again, this time in a congressional hearing. She doesn't mention Barron by name. She's too smart for that. Instead, she talks about transparency, about trust, about what happens when secrecy becomes a default. "We have seen time and time again," she says, her voice sharpening like a blade. "Leaders demand loyalty, demand silence, demand that we look away when the truth becomes inconvenient. But democracy doesn't work when secrecy becomes a default." Then she drops the hammer. She pulls out a timeline showing how quickly the First Lady's office moved to shut down chatter after the leak. Within 48 hours of this report circulating, calls were made to media outlets, editors were pressured, and platforms were leaned on to silence discussion. If the report were meaningless, if it were fabricated, why scramble so hard to bury it? The room erupts. It's not about Barron anymore. It's about power and control. Jasmine has shifted the frame entirely. The battle lines are drawn. Melania appears at children's hospitals, reinforcing her image as a caring mother unfairly attacked. She releases a statement. I have always believed children must be off limits. What I see now is shameful. People in positions of power using rumors and lies to attack my family. But Jasmine isn't backing down. She goes on national television and delivers what becomes the quote of the year. The truth doesn't need bodyguards. If the truth can stand on its own, why not let the people see it? The country is riveted. Families debate at dinner tables. Radio callers shout at hosts. Social media explodes with hashtags like #SilenceOrCourage trending globally. Then comes the moment everyone's been waiting for. Melania announces she'll address the controversy live. Not a pre-recorded video, not a carefully edited statement. Live cameras, unscripted, unfiltered. At precisely noon, she walks onto the White House press room stage. Her posture is upright, her outfit striking, her eyes betraying no hesitation. I have heard the accusations, the lies, the rumors, she begins, her voice rising. Shame on those who twist the truth for their own ambition. Shame on those who think destroying families is the way to win. It's emotional, powerful, but it doesn't answer the core questions. No evidence to counter the cover-up claims. No denial of the pressure campaign. Jasmine's countermove is surgical. That evening, sitting with Rachel Maddow, she speaks with deadly precision. I respect motherhood. I respect families. But this is not about a son. This is about the abuse of influence. When leaders use their positions to silence the press, it's not just a family matter. It's a democracy matter. The country is split down the middle, but something fundamental has shifted. This isn't just about politics anymore. It's about accountability, about what leaders owe the people when secrets leak. And here's what makes this story so powerful. It's not really about the DNA results at all. It's about two women caught in a storm, each playing for more than headlines, playing for legacy. A mother desperate to shield her child, and a congresswoman determined to strip away secrecy. In the end, the story leaves us with a lesson as old as democracy itself. Truth doesn't need defenders, but lies always do. The moment we stop asking questions, the moment we trade curiosity for comfort, we lose what matters most, accountability. Because here's the thing about power, it bends to silence when people stop demanding answers. So don't stop asking. Don't stop demanding honesty from those who claim to lead. Stay curious, stay watchful, because the truth deserves an audience.